Well, it's election time again, and there's a lot of heightened buzz about getting out there to vote from both sides of the coin, from both Republicans and Democrats. What's really interesting is that the Republican candidate, Donald Trump, is currently in the hospital, supposedly being treated for COVID 19. And what's also interesting, a lot of people really ain't buying into it. A lot of people think that it's stall tactics, like he don't really want to go through another debate again. Uh, One mockery is enough, I suppose, and that he's stalling until it's time for the election, until it's literally too late to try to debate and and see who wins. A lot of people don't buy into the guy really being sick, and it's hard to say because throughout the tenure of his presidency, there's been a whole lot of bragging over pretty much no accomplishments, a lot of stirring up of hatred, which a lot of his followers consider that as a leadership. The fact that he's causing division, they see that as him being a man of the people. Uh, Perhaps maybe making America great again would be renaming it uh, to the divided states as opposed to united. But here's some things to consider. Like I said, it's just kind of hard to gauge this guy because his whole mentality is about not being honest and about being not only being deceptive but being hateful. And what's so odd is that he's even hateful toward his own people, but they don't care for the simple fact that his example allows for them to be hateful toward other people that they hate based upon their race and other things like that and religion. In other words, you can take a crap on me. You can crap on me all you want. Just as long as I get the crap on other people that I hate. I'll take your crap and I'll love it, but as long as I get the crap on other folk, then that makes it all well and good. But I don't want to get off the subject. This guy's in a hospital. And what's so odd, like I heard one news report said that the fact that they're supposedly giving him these drugs or drug that's in the experimental stage still lends to the possibility that he may be in some kind of jeopardy. Um, but on the other side of the coin, you're talking about the president of the United States. A drug, whatever it is, I forget the name of it, that they call still in the testing phase, experimental phase. Will they just all of a sudden turn the most important person, one of the most important people as far as the position goes, into a lab rat? Would they risk doing that? I mean, I suppose you can say yeah, because if it's serious, it could lead to the point to where the guy might pass away. But still, is that what it all boils down to? The president becoming a lab rat? I mean, the fact that a lot of people think that his intelligence level is not necessarily higher or as high as a lab rat, that might be beside the point too, but it's the position itself. And that, that sounds kind of strange to me. And then another thing, President Trump made a video or two from the hospital, and then in the video he said, "I think I'm okay." The key word in that sentence, "I think." He didn't spew off at the mouth like he usually does about, "I'm doing great, the doctors are great," and all this other stuff. He said, "I think I'm doing okay." And that kind of leads you to believe that he might be worried, and he might not be feeling so well. But then again, it's hard to gauge or really say for sure, because he's a liar at heart. I don't know. But don't be surprised if all of a sudden, at a certain point in time, he's all of a sudden magically okay. And as they wait for the results of the election, don't be surprised at all, because knowing him in his way and all the incompetency that's been going on with this guy, don't be surprised. Or if you think about it, that job in and of itself supposedly the most stressful job on the planet. What is he? Well, he could just be faking just to get out of it, And now you got all these different Republicans turning up contagious with the virus. And it's like, what's going on with that? It almost makes it seem like they made some kind of satanic pact with each other, like a suicide pact or something. It's just so much nonsense going on within the Republican Party. And I'm not trying to make it sound like the Democratic Party is so virtuous, because they're all politicians and they're all self-serving, all of them. But this past 4 years has just been so bizarre under the leadership of the Republican Party. It's just been so strange. And the guy could be faking for both reasons. He could be faking to not have to go through the debates, to hopefully win the election without having to put himself through any more humiliation. Or he could be faking because he wants out of it because of the stress level. Rest assured that Donald Trump, and you know this, he's a control freak. And that position in and of itself corrals him to such a degree that he can't fully exercise his control freak mentality. And that's what he wants more than anything else. Like, we all know he wants to be a dictator. And he's tried so hard to turn that office into a position of dictatorship. But what if he's really got it? What if he's really got it? And he seemed a little solemn when he made that video. If you read his energy correctly, again, "I think I'm okay." And then they also told him that he's in one of those high risk factors. He's 74 years old. He's old, he's overweight, and all this other stuff. Supposedly high risk. So, what if he's worried? What if there's really something going on with his health? And if he's worried, welcome to the club, man, because all the uncertainty you've cast, all the worry you've cast on the shoulders of the public, maybe it's become full circle. Strange. I mean, one thing's for certain, he doesn't need to be president. I mean, there's just an incompetency to such a degree that, I mean, it's just a joke. And Pence is supposed to debate Kamala here in the very, very near future, and don't expect much from that either. Kamala said expect a series of untruths. In other words, expect Pence to, do what Trump typically does and just tell one lie after another. That may very well be the case. Nevertheless, don't expect much. Even if you expect Pence to tell a series of lies like Kamala says he will, the fact remains is that Pence is being watched by Trump. And if you really look at it, this guy has been the most quietest vice president in the history of any president that I've been able to see in office. I mean, vice president. Vice presidents are supposed to be like the number one advisor to the president. You think he's doing that to and for Trump? Come on, man. They're supposed to have other duties, like to be deciding vote factors, like if all the senators and what have you, congressmen, they don't agree with certain things. I think it's Congress. Then the vice president is supposed to be like the deciding factor. You think that Pence is really allowed to do any of that? This guy has been on a back burner ever since Trump came in office, and that's where he will stay. Even if he says something that might be helpful, not helpful, but something that might seem logical to his opponents, don't expect much, because he's scared and he knows Trump's watching him, and he knows he better watch what he says. And if he says anything that could remotely contradict any nonsense that Donald Trump spit out there, and Donald gets wind of it, yeah, he let's just say won't be pretty for Pence. So don't expect much from this debate, because even from the hospital, Donald has his arm all the way up Pence's rectum to the elbow. So, that's the end of that. But, nevertheless, what y'all think? Y'all think the president has been reduced to being a lab rat? From Make America Great to being a lab rat? We'll see. Anyway, y'all get out there and vote, I guess, for whoever you think is the better candidate. And God bless.